Hi, folks. I'm Hub Arkush for the Chicago Sun-Times, chicagosuntimes.com. We've got our weekly NFL fantasy football preview, this time for week 5 of the season. And we're going to start with a couple of St. Louis Rams. Now, I know the Rams are having a tough go of it, especially at quarterback, where they've lost 2 in Sam Bradford and Sean Hill. But head coach Jeff Fisher is committed to Austin Davis again this weekend. And I like running back Zach Stacy and wide receiver Brian Quick. I wouldn't play Davis, but I think they're going to commit to the ground game. Stacy is a guy who can do some damage on the ground. There's no question about that. And when you look at, any NFL offense, they're going to complete some passes. So Brian Quick isn't going to make any Pro Bowls, but he's going to be the primary target for Austin Davis this week. And I expect both Davis and Quick to pile up some fantasy points. Another team you want to keep an eye on is the New York Giants, specifically running back Andre Williams and tight end Larry Donnell. Now, maybe you were able to claim Larry Donnell on your fantasy waiver wire this past week. He was probably gone quickly after the 3 touchdowns last Sunday. He is going to continue to be an important target for Eli Manning in the new offense that Ben McAdoo has installed there along with Tom Coughlin. And Andre Williams is behind Rashad Jennings. There's no question about that. Rashad Jennings is the go-to guy in that offense, but Andre Williams is a big bruising back who's going to get the ball in the red zone. That's what I like about both these players. Donnell and Williams will be favorite targets of the Giants offense once they get in the red zone. They may not pile up a ton of yards for you, but what they will do is they'll get those touchdowns. They'll get those points quickly, and if they each get a couple, before you know it, you've got a win in your fantasy league. Another team you want to keep an eye on is the Carolina Panthers. Now, that offense is struggling, no question about it, but Kelvin Benjamin was just named the NFC Offensive Rookie of the Year. Take a look at his numbers, folks. Of the 5 wide receivers that went in the first round, he was thought to be possibly the least NFL ready. He has turned out to be the most NFL ready. He is doing an outstanding job there for the Carolina Panthers. And I would go with tight end Greg Olsen as well, the former Chicago Bear, as the Panthers play the Bears this weekend. They're struggling on the offensive line a little bit, but we just saw the Bears defense get absolutely toasted by the Green Bay Packers. The Carolina Panthers, they're going to target that defense. Greg Olsen is the go-to guy of Cam Newton, so you definitely want to consider the possibility that you get the tight end Greg Olsen on the field, definitely get Kelvin Benjamin on the field. Now, I've got one matchup for you I want you to be very careful with. I'm sure last Monday night you saw running backs Jamal Charles and Niall Davis go off against the New England Patriots. Jamal Charles, you've got to start him. He was probably your first pick in the draft, probably one of the top 5 off the board, but I would stay away from Niall Davis, and I would support Charles as best you can with other point scorers. They're going to San Francisco this week. The San Francisco 49ers defense last week at home shut out the Philadelphia Eagles offense. They did. They shut them out. None of those 21 points that they scored came on offense. The Eagles, one of the most high-flying, productive offenses in the NFL. The 49ers always play the run well. The defense is playing very well as they try and bounce back from their rough start. They're still in kind of a must-win situation. They got to 500 last week, but they will be ready when the Chiefs come to town this week. So I would stay away from number 2 running back Niall Davis of the Chiefs, and I would be very careful with Jamal Charles. If you have any other options, of course you want to start Charles, but don't be surprised if the 49ers slow him a bit this weekend. For the Chicago Sun-Times, chicagosuntimes.com, I'm Hub Arkush. For the best in sports, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Stay right where you are.